Here are the top 3 crypto projects for April.
We've researched all the crypto projects and found 3 projects each that are set to rip for this month.
Welcome to the Bean Pod. This is your place for all things stocks and crypto. From beginner tips to expert picks. Use this as fuel for your investing journey, because when you're in the know, your money will grow.
The Bean Pod is presented by DAOmaker, the top crypto launchpad in the industry.
DAOmaker allows people to participate in top crypto projects before they launch and generate some of the best returns you can find anywhere.
They also provide growth solutions for crypto projects that are looking for funding and assistance with marketing.
With their revolutionary new public strongholder offerings, everyone can get early access to top crypto projects regardless of their net worth.
DAOmaker is rapidly disrupting the venture capital industry. If you're interested, head over to DAOmaker.com to learn more.
Welcome to the Bean Pod. This is Shane, aka the Jolly Green Investor.
And this is Josh, the Nifty Investor.
Today, we're going to talk about the top 3 crypto projects that are poised for huge runs in April.
I mean, we've gone through all the top crypto projects, and these ones look poised for a serious run in April. There's some really heavy catalysts coming through.
Yeah.
I'm excited to talk about these.
For sure. So when it comes down to why we've picked these projects, it can be a combination of how the chart is set up, right? So some of the charts are set up beautifully for a huge run. Some of the projects have important catalysts, pieces of news, partnerships that could make the projects absolutely rip. Or some of them, maybe they're just in that zone where people have forgotten about them. They're coming out of despair, right? So it's a combination. And that's why listening to this entire episode, seeing all the reasons is important.
Yeah. And hey, make sure you smash the like button, get the subscribe to our podcast, because we really appreciate you guys tuning in each and every week. We do a lot of hard work to find some really good gems for you guys.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's get right into it. So one of my top picks for April is Near Protocol. If you follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, I'm talking about Near Protocol all the time. And I'll tell you why I think it's set for a huge April run. So right away, when you look at what Near Protocol does, they have a bit of a different way of how they set their blockchain up. It's called sharding. And what it does is it splits the work of the processing transactions across the network of nodes, which makes it inherently more scalable, lower gas fees, faster, all that kind of stuff.
So it's almost like a piece of glass got broken apart.
Shards.
Shards. Yeah,
exactly.
Perfect.
So Near Protocol is the only top project that utilizes this technology.
Right.
So that's why a lot of people are now flooding to it. If you go back into what happened in last year and the momentum it's built up to this point and why I think it's about to rip, it's the number 3 fastest growing blockchain out of the top projects in terms of developer growth in 2021, only behind Terra Luna and Solana.
Okay, so this makes a lot of sense, right? Really cool technology. We had a bit of a scare with Bitcoin dropping. So where investors going to go first when they come back?
It's a growing ecosystem.
Now you need to start putting it into, you're going to be a little bit more smart with your money when you have it taken away from you. Ooh, a little scared there. Project like this with a really cool technology sounds like, and with the developer growth.
Yeah.
Smart money moving.
And here's what I like about Near Protocol right now. If you think about the names that it's up there with in terms of growing ecosystems, Solana, trending, hypey name. Terra Luna, this thing's out of control. Even Phantom and Avalanche, these are big hype projects. I still feel like Near Protocol is flying way under the radar. People are not talking about this on social media.
Right.
One of the only guys that's really consistently about Near Protocol, I don't know if it's the name, I don't know what it is, but I found out. They only really have a huge foothold in terms of community and marketing outside of North America.
Oh.
So, we're based in North America. Obviously, a lot of our fans, followers, community is North American. They don't know about Near Protocol yet because Near Protocol hasn't really spent the money to market in North America. Their main foothold is in Eastern Europe, Africa, and Asia. So they have a huge opportunity to expand into North America. And off the back of one, they got $800 million grant for their ecosystem last year in October. I posted about that, Near ripped. But here's one of the main reasons I think it's about to rip again. They just got $150 million invested into their company 2 months ago. And ever since then, the whole crypto market has been plunging. But you just have to go back and see which projects were starting to trend before the real dump. Those, in my opinion, will be the projects that are going to rip again.
Right.
So Near Protocol just saw that huge spike in January, but then the whole market dumped. So it didn't really have its time to shine where people can really get on the back of it. The hype train rolls, the retail investors come, the token goes to the moon, right? Just as Near was getting going, the whole market tanked.
Yeah.
But as the market starts to curl around and hopefully become bullish again, I think a project like Near is prime for a massive April run.
Yeah, I mean, man, look, I don't know much about Near, and I'm happy you brought it up. And I'm sure the listeners are happy as well. It's always nice to hear about a new project that is somehow sitting right under our noses in the top 20 or so. You know, it's amazing.
Love it. So right now it's number 22 coin, $7 billion market cap. The price is down from a peak of $20, sitting around $11, $12 right now. So I'm aping into Near. I'm hoping for good things here.
Even if it can get up to something like Cardano's, you know, you're looking at like a 5x or something like that.
For sure.
It's pretty freaking solid.
Keep your eye on Near. All right.
I got my nearly looking at Near. I'm right there. Yeah, near. So I'm looking at like projects with severe utility, like in the real world, for example. That's kind of where I went with these 3 projects today. This is one that everybody uses. We all use internet, right? So Helium trades on the ticker HNT. You talked about Near having this huge, maybe like sell off and dump. This one's kind of been on like a consistent trajectory on the way up. It is trading at half of its all-time high.
Slow and steady on the way up.
But it's slow and steady on the way up, which I like. Basically, this is attempting to be the future of decentralized communication. They're using something called long-fi technology, where Wi-Fi technology, the waves don't travel as far. Long-fi travels 200 times further than traditional Wi-Fi. So I find that really interesting. And the way that Helium is mined is through these Helium hotspots. Think of them as like a router or, you know, a router in your house, right?
Right there. Shout out to Helium. They actually just sent me a Helium hotspot. It's sitting on my desk over there.
So Shane's got one of these. How amazing. You already need internet. You can actually make money by having this in your house. How sick is that?
Yeah, I'm mining. I think I've mined maybe 1 or 2 Helium tokens. It's like $100 or something.
How many? So I think you got yours at pretty quick, but I think the average person has to wait like 8 months to get one of these things right now because the demand is so high. Taking the growth, they've gone from 15,000 hotspots at the beginning of 2021 to over 600,000 hotspots today.
Wow.
Insane growth. But it makes sense. I mean, when you have Biden coming out and talking about this infrastructure bill, basically they're trying to get, I think there's something like what I have. There's 30 million people in America that can't access broadband, specifically in rural areas.
Okay.
So when you have a technology in these rural areas that can now kind of reach out and get to these further locations, it's really going to help people who don't have access to internet, especially when you can make money from it. These guys are backed by Google Ventures. We talked about the funding that Near Protocol just received. They received $200 million from FTX Ventures, one of the largest exchanges in the US. They're partnered with the 4th largest wireless carrier in the US, Dish Network, to help Helium 5G. So there's a lot of really cool things happening with this. I look at the founders. This is really interesting. Sean Fanning developed Napster.
Oh, that guy.
The first peer-to-peer network sharing of music. Really cool. And then they also have Sean Carey, who created this advertising optimization platform that was bought out by PayPal.
Right.
So 2 really cool techie guys on the team.
Experienced startup founders. I love it.
Right. So this is the reason why I'm looking at this one.
You know what I love about Helium? And we've talked about this on the show before. Blockchains that are setting themselves apart from the competition by focusing on one thing. You know, you have these layer 1 blockchains like Solana, Ethereum, Avalanche. They're all kind of do the same thing. They're all trying to be the be all end all blockchain that does everything.
Fast, secure, and
and that's great. Competition is good. But when you have a project like Helium that's solving a problem that no one else is really going after, they stand amongst themselves, almost a monopoly on what they're doing, which is this new internet protocol. And the Helium miners, everything they've got going on, it's so unique. I love that because what it does, it sets yourself apart from disruption. So if Solana's making ground, but something happens that maybe the network goes down, well then, Cardano or Ethereum could gain market share against Solana.
Exactly.
But because Helium has this moat around their business, it's much more of I would say, a safer investment. And I love that.
Yeah, that's why I went with it. I like the fact that they do have that moat, and you can't find another company that's doing something like this.
Love it.
And I know that you got one of these things, so shout out.
Helium owner. Thanks, Helium. All right, let's move on. My next pick for April is Algorand. So Algorand is a top 30 project. It's the number 30 coin at time recording with a $5.5 billion market cap. This one, I love the look of the chart. This thing has pumped up. I think the price was around $2.30. If you look at the chart, it's done 2 pumps like that. And now we're at the bottom in despair, coming out of despair, smart money phase right now. Price is around 80 cents. You're looking for a double, a triple up here. I think it's possible. And not only is the chart looking good for Algorand, this has massive catalyst behind it. So I want to take a step back and just quickly explain what Algorand is and why I've been on it for a while. It's because they've developed a system called pure proof of stake. So there's proof of work and proof of stake, which we've talked about a lot. But this is pure proof of stake. And without getting too technical, it's even more decentralized than proof of stake. So it's basically, it takes out the ability for whales on the blockchain to control nodes and transactions and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
It randomly selects nodes to process transactions on the blockchain. So you know the blockchain trilemma?
Yep.
It's security, scalability, and decentralization.
Yep.
In Algorand, what they're trying to do and what they claim to do is have solved it. So they've taken proof of stake, which is an improvement on proof of work, and they've added another element, which is pure proof of stake. So again, they've set themselves apart from the competition with their technology. That's what attracted me in the first place. But here's the catalyst that I think could see extreme growth for Algorand in April. And this is the important part you need to know. Their founder, who's an MIT professor, said they're going to be bringing upgrades to the network that will increase speed 10 times. And this is happening soon.
To Algorand's
blockchain.
Right.
So they're going to be increasing speed and transaction processing power, all that kind of stuff, 10 times. Not only that, they've just hired a new CEO, an ex-JP Morgan executive, and they're signing partnerships. They just partner with, remember LimeWire?
Yeah.
They signed,
Like a Napster.
Yeah. They partnered with LimeWire to build NFT music marketplaces. So the ecosystem is now just starting to grow. So when you look at the chart, the technology being upgraded, they've got their own kind of technology going on, a new CEO, ex-JP Morgan leading the company. I think there's so many catalysts right now. And honestly, just have a look at that chart, bring it up. This thing is ready to rip.
Fuck yeah, it is.
Yep.
Again, Algorand, great pick. Another top 30 project sitting right under our noses, solving problems with a technology that other companies are not using.
Love it.
So that's where you need to look. So the one I have here is Quant. This one received a ton of hype. Again, maybe several months back, and it did that huge pump up to like $300-400. Came all the way back down to like $120 or so now. Smart money's rolling in.
Love it.
I think this could be one of the best projects of all time.
I love Quant.
They only have, from a token circulation perspective, there's only 50 million available. It's a very small amount.
Kind of like Bitcoin.
Kind of like Bitcoin. That's right. 21 mil. This, when you talk about, we're talking about Algorand, we're talking about Helium, we're talking about Veracity, Vector Space, Ethereum, all these projects. They all have developers. They all have dApps. They all have something going on. If we really want blockchain technology or Hashgraph, if you watched our Hedera Hashgraph episode, you need something that connects it all together seamlessly. So I saw a really good example. This is like true interoperability amongst all the blockchains. You need this. You need this thin layer that can connect it. And I love that they have this technology as proprietary. Going back to what you're talking about, sharding, and this is something that nobody else has. The best example I could find to understand, if you guys want to really understand what this is going to do, is imagine that you're on a video call, a video conference, or you're watching our podcast episode. You don't care about what brand this mic is. You know, the information goes in. It doesn't matter what computer I'm using or you're using or the camera that we're using, but they're all different pieces of technology. The message still gets to you. It's all about the end user and how they experience it. And that's what Quant is doing. Right. They're creating the perfect interoperability amongst all the blockchains. And you're not even going to know you're not going to know that you're using Ethereum dApp. Right. You're not going to know that you're using Algorand. It's just going to end up to the end user and it's going to be seamless. And that is the thin layer in between it all.
I love it. One thing I love about Quant, again, is their partnerships. I think they work with Oracle. And in the past, they've worked with AWS, Amazon to bring their blockchain technology to those huge companies.
Yeah.
And again, that sets it apart. I love the interoperability. I think is going to be a huge theme for crypto moving forward in 2022. And talk about the chart. Quant that thing is set up perfectly. I think sellers are exhausted. That thing has been driven down into despair. It's starting to curl up again. I think the upside is massive.
And the fact that they're connecting $1 trillion industries, they're doing with the banks, right? They're doing it with healthcare. They have a partnership with AUS, the critical national infrastructure for Australia, their national defense. This is an article that just came out. So they're already working with the UK and Australia. The fact that they're working with Australia's national defense for allow the information to travel within their defense teams seamlessly. This is national security we're talking about. They're using Quant already.
Huge.
Like, come on.
Love it.
It's a hell of a freaking project.
Put Quant on your watch list for April, no doubt. All right, the next one I have, top coin for April 2022 is Stellar Lumens XLM. This is like an OG project. It's one of the first crypto projects I got into. I think I was Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then XRP and Stellar Lumens, probably because that's the only coins that BitBuy offered back in the day.
I use XLM all the time.
Yeah, to send money around, right?
Right, because it's so cheap.
Yeah, so what is XLM? It's just like XRP. It's built for moving money quick, borderless transaction facilitation. It's just like XRP, except
but a better community.
It's not being sued by the SEC and it has a better community, right? So this automatically draws me towards XLM as opposed to XRP, basically like Venmo on a global scale, right? So why am I bullish on them for April? One of the things is there's rumors going around that the Stellar Foundation has been talking with the Federal Reserve for potentially being involved in the development of their CBDC, right? So if you're looking for, it's a rumor. And there's some crumbs that you can pick up. Shout out to the Crypto Network. That guy he put me onto it. He tweeted about it. I saw it. But these are little things and it makes a lot of sense. A company like XLM or XRP, they could be working with big corporations or governments to develop these cross-border payment solutions, right?
Right.
MoneyGram chose XLM over XRP back in October of last year. Because XRP is being sued by the SEC, people are now flocking to XLM. Another thing that's happening, if you really read into it, XRP seems to be doing pretty well in the lawsuit. Things keep coming out where the SEC can't use this, blah, blah, blah. I don't follow everything that comes out of it, but in general, I feel like it's moving in the right direction. And I think that could be the tide that rises all boats.
Right.
So if XRP, XLM, they're kind of in the same boat there.
Yeah.
So I see a lot of bullish things coming for the currently ranked number 31 crypto coin with a $5 billion market cap. And it's got that same looking chart. Huge spike up in April or May of this last year, really trending down, but just starting to see volume and price picking up. And I feel like it's a forgotten about project.
Yeah.
People aren't hyping up XLM. And that's when you want to get into project. Once it's hit the mainstream, it's hypey, it's too late, right?
I feel like people really pump XRP because you can attach them to banks and everybody knows who the Bank of America is. Everybody knows who RBC is, for example. But when you talk about XLM, they work on, they're still trying to do like cross-border payments, but it's more to the unbanked individuals,
Right.
which is actually a larger percentage of the population. You have people in Africa or wherever who don't necessarily have a proper bank, but they might have a cell phone. They might have, something else. So XRP is not going to be able to target those individuals.
Yep.
XLM can. So it's not as fancy because you can't talk, Bank of America does this. So it's like John Smith and da-da-da. It's not, you know what I mean?
For sure. That's why it's not as big of a market cap as XRP. But when you look at the chart, you look at the catalyst, you look at how forgotten about it is right now, I think April could be potentially the start of a new uptrend for XLM. So put it on your watch list.
I love it. I use it all the time. Sometimes I just hold it. I'm just like,
Yeah, you buy like a bunch and you send it from account to account. You're like, maybe I'll hold it.
Yeah.
I do that too. And as soon as you start to see, you're like, sell. Yeah. I do that all the time.
I am an XLM fan. Big one. I like the call.
All right. What's your number 3?
So number 3 is, again, looking to problems being solved. The first one, we had Helium with Wi-Fi issues in America. Then we went to Quant, which is fixed, like interoperability. It's bringing everything together. This next one is a massive problem that we're having right now. First, because of COVID. Then we have the war. We're seeing issues with foods on shelves and all this. We had the Suez Canal. I'm talking VChain.
Okay.
I'm talking
Yeah.
I'm talking supply chain.
I like it. VChain kind of fits back into that XLM, for us, we were big about these coins in 2021 when they were trending. Now they've kind of been forgotten about. So I think it's a great pick.
So it's nice to find these companies, these projects when nobody's talking about them, and they have bottomed out. And this one has. It's done that peak. It's come all the way down. This is the time to grab something that is, again, we talked about the moat earlier. There's not a lot of other companies like that are in the supply chain space like this one, especially one that is incorporated with the Chinese government. This is one of the few cryptos that is still existing in China.
I like that.
Very big country that exports a lot of goods. Think about where all the manufacturing takes place in China. Why, when you can tokenize every single item, for example, you're sending out a pair of shoes, you can tokenize those pair of shoes that are going to be manufactured in China. Everything you own is made in China. You can then track when it gets onto the boat, when it gets onto the train, when it gets onto the all the way to the end user. And the great thing about the blockchain, or VChain specifically, is the fact that there's no forging of documents. Everything's timely. Once it's put into the blockchain, it's there for good. You can't manipulate it. You can't have John Smith at the dock saying, "Oh yeah, it arrived 3 hours ago," when it actually didn't.
You know what I love about that? The whole supply chain on the blockchain thing, it's going to get rid of these fake organic avocados. Is it really organic? Which farm did it come from? Someone slaps an organic label on some avocados. I mean, you can't tell the difference from a blind taste test, right? For organic strawberry, people say they can, but I guarantee you can't.
No.
People can just put a sticker on it, right? In the middle of the shipping. Let's put organic stickers on this produce, and we're going to raise prices by 100%. If it's on the blockchain, you can see exactly where it came from. It's tracked. Can't be faked.
So that's the other thing. It's saving companies billions of dollars because there's so many knockoffs and frauds as well. We alluded to in a previous episode, is how much money companies can now save from the fraud aspect. So if you're buying like a Louis Vuitton bag, are you getting the fake one or are you getting the real one? Now you know for sure because it's tokenized. Here's the interesting thing. I mentioned Louis Vuitton. The founder is the CIO of Louis Vuitton in China. This is the right. So that's why I'm still sticking with the China thing. And
all right,
he's a big manufacturer guy himself. BMW is actually using VChain to track the odometer to prevent fraud. Walmart's using it to track their food. So VChain is being used by these really big corporations. It's one of the biggest cryptos in its niche. It's really fascinating. It fixes a lot of issues.
Yeah.
Really big for enterprises. Not super sexy and exciting.
No, it's not.
Because you're probably not going to use it, but big enterprises are, and that's where the money is.
I think the money right now is looking at these forgotten about crypto projects. Everyone's on the hype train, and for good reason, for a lot of these companies that we talk about. But when you look for companies that charts have bottomed out, people have forgotten about them because they've been so boring for so long. That's where the smart money comes in, right? That's it.
And so what I want to say, the last point I have to make about this is the fact that, so there is such a supply chain issue that's going on, right? So when your house is on fire, you're not thinking about how can we fireproof this house next time. You're putting water on it, right? You're calling the ambulance, you're calling the firefighters. The reason that this has taken a bit of a dive, I think, is that there's all these supply chains are trying to be fixed right now. They're not looking at alternative solutions that are going to fix it. So the reason I'm picking this now is because as things start to get sorted out and supply chain starts to kind of iron out all the issues, then they'll be looking to how can we fix this for next time?
Right. What's the permanent long-term solution?
Exactly.
And that's VChain.
That's what I'm thinking.
Right. So it's the worldwide trend of the supply chain issues. People will now start to look to VChain.
Yeah.
I like it.
So they're trying to fix the issues, put out the fires, then they'll look to the solutions.
I like it. Put VChain on that list,
That's
right?
why it's there, baby.
No worries. Well, I think that's a pretty good list of 6 coins to watch in April. If you like these coins, send us a comment. Make sure to subscribe, like the video. That'd help out a lot.
That'd be great. And make sure you tune into the next episode.
That one's going to be a fucking banger.
All views expressed by speakers on the BeanPod are solely their opinions. You should not treat any opinion expressed on the BeanPod as a specific inducement to make a particular investment or follow a specific strategy, but only as an expression of their opinion. This podcast is for informational purposes only.